Hi guys, how are you? I hope today's a good day and it continues to be one. Today I wanted to talk about some forms of creative media that I think are really common that people utilize as healing and don't even necessarily realize. And so specifically today I want to talk about music. This is something that I don't think that people track the way that I would imagine them to track. So I talked in a previous video about how there's creativity could mean so many different things, and it's really just any opportunity for you to be playful, joyful, imaginative, innovative, and engage with it. And for me, that looks like lots of different things because I love anything that's creative. But for somebody who doesn't deem themselves as a creative person, music is something that almost everybody engages with. It doesn't matter what capacity. It doesn't matter if it's classical music or if it's not, what's that called? Acoustic music. It doesn't matter what it is. It still is, right? And what's great about music is that why people love it so much is that it elicits a feeling, right? Or it has an opportunity to help you feel understood. And for me, I like to think of it as a healing modality because of that specifically. I mean, both of those things, but really for it to create a space for other people to feel welcomed, understood, seen, a sense of belonging, right? So I guess there's lots of ways that I could take this, but what's coming to my brain right now is just examples. And so I think I'll just start there. So the first thing that I think about is, like I said, creating an opportunity for a community of people to feel a sense of belonging or feeling seen. And so that initially makes me think of opportunities for genres to kind of occur. So the first thing that pops into my brain is that R&B and hip hop and rap are all kinds of music that have came from the Black community that have given us this opportunity to engage with them in a way that I don't think is really there otherwise. And let me be a little bit more distinct when I say that. I mean that many people do not grow up living the Black experience, right? And not only was this music created as a means of expressing and releasing the struggle that it can be to be a person of color, but also as a way to acknowledge and to find comfort in and to create normalcy in that experience, right? And to create community, right? This is a way for these people to come together and say, I had this experience, I absolutely know what it's like to grow up that way or to not be. And it's a way for them to have a shared connection, a shared joy, a shared culture, right? And it's also a way for those who have not experienced that, who are not Black, who are not a person of color, who have never experienced that kind of life or that kind of culture for that matter, to partake in the appreciation of that culture, to partake in an opportunity of understanding in that culture, and to be on the shared humanity, to be on this wavelength of connection, right? And I just think that's amazing. That's so fascinating and wonderful that we even have the opportunity for music to be able to provide that kind of availability in general. So And that's true for lots of different types of genres of music, right? That's true for like Hawaiian music is I've been listening to them a little bit lately, and it's true for folk music, and it's true for all kinds of music, really, right? And their little pockets of genres. The other thing that I think about is communities that are centered around types of lyricism, I guess is the best way to kind of categorize that. But I think about like how music has now moved in, and I think over generations has moved in and out of creating opportunities for people to feel understood in a shared culture of upbringing. So right now, what that makes me think of is Noah Kahan. I think that he is a modern day version of being able to listen to music and discuss what it was like to have lived in this generation. So many people in this millennium, so many people in these current generations are discovering, I grew up being emotionally neglected. I grew up having everything that I needed materially, but never getting anything that I needed emotionally or mentally. And feeling just the weight of the gaps of what wasn't there, as well as being able to recognize the implications of those things, right? He talks a lot about like about his dad, about saying like wanting to, like, wishing he could be his dad because that man didn't feel a damn thing he never wanted to feel. And he's waking up. And just knowing like he's carrying like that angry version of his dad with him, right? And I just think he's such a great example of what it looks like right now for us as a culture to be waking up to what trauma really is and can be in a person, and writing about it, putting it into music, and creating this whole community of people who are collectively healing from the same thing, right? Another good example of that is Taylor Swift. Love her or hate her, or Olivia Rodrigo, or Gracie Abrams, or Phoebe Bridger, whoever you want to say, right? But again, creating communities of what it is like, what the emotional experience is like to heal from a heartbreak, to heal from relationship dynamics, to heal from failed expectations or loss of love in any kind of capacity that you want to speak about. That's amazing, right? To have the power that this lyric combined with this movement of some kind of instrument or of some kind of something to create an instrumental sound, to combine those things together to evoke and elicit not only a feeling, but also ultimately on this huge other side of the scale, a community. That is crazy, right? And it just comes to me back into like everything is everything, because that right there is a perfect example of systems theory, which in social work talks about having a micro, a small, a meso, a medium, a macro, a large, grand scale of experiences, of action, of change. It depends on the context of what we're talking about. But all three of those systems are happening simultaneously in one act, from one person deciding, I'm going to do healing this way. I'm going to heal myself by putting music out into the world that just expresses who I am and what I've been through. By me being able to authentically be myself, right? Because how many of those people were probably told, like, you're never going to be a musician, like, give it up, right? But regardless, saying, for worse or for better, for whatever. I'm doing this for me because my heart, my soul tells me that I need to express in this way. This what helps me release. This is what helps me release. And I'm going to do it regardless. And that alone, the ability to be that authentic, to be able to be that expressive in any kind of capacity, draws an opportunity for that person to not only to build that skill set in and of themselves, right? But then to create all of this afterwards. Even though that wasn't necessarily their intention. Probably. For some of them, I'm sure it was. But yeah, so I just think, like, number one, there you go. Like, number one, creative media that we talked about today, music. And I just think that that's a perfect example of how art can be healing, of how art can create collectivity and collaboration and communication and expression and authenticity, and that it can be cathartic. And I would bet on my life that there's been one song that's helped you get through the worst of the worst of the worst. And that thing, just tuck it in your back pocket. Because that's what we're here to do on this page. That's what this is about. This is us providing avenues, pathways, opportunities, whatever word you want to use, to find your own healing and to find the way that's comfortable for you, that makes you feel good, that allows you to be authentically you. For me, that song is Vienna by Billy Joel. It's fantastic. Tell me what yours is. I want to know.